Welcome back, everybody, to our town hall with Republican presidential candidate, Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida.
All right, next up, we've got another question from Jim. He's an engineering manager here in Des Moines. Jim, there you are. Hey, listen, let me ask you, how are you looking at this race right now as you get ready to head to the caucuses on Monday?
I'm looking forward to it. I think there's a lot of good candidates. I'm definitely leaning towards Mr. DeSantis, but I have not fully decided yet. But
Well,
looking
you got
forward
a question for the governor, so go ahead. Fine.
I do. Donald Trump vowed to build the wall, yet only succeeded in building about 50 miles. Democrats used their activist judges and bureaucracy to obstruct the program. How will you address immigration and succeed where he failed?
Well, thanks, Jim. And I think it's a huge issue because if we can't get this right, where we're a sovereign country and you have millions and millions of people coming from all over the world, I don't see how we're going to be successful. So I'm going to declare a national emergency on day one in office. I'm going to marshal resources, including the military, to stop the invasion. When people come illegally, they need to be deported back to their home country. You know, Donald Trump promised record deportations. He actually deported less than Barack Obama did in his first 4 years. So he's promising the same this time, but he didn't do it the first time around. I will do it because if you don't have a sanction for coming illegally, you're going to continue to have the problem. I am going to build the wall. Now, he said build the wall to Mexico, pay for it. He's actually been in Iowa and has reflected on that promise, and he said there was no way he could have Mexico pay for it. They're not just going to give you money. There was no legal mechanism. But, you know, people criticized him in 2016 for, they said you can't do it, and he said he would do it. I thought what he was going to do, and here's what I would do. The way you raise money for the wall, you charge fees on the remittances that workers send to foreign countries. So Mexico, Central America, they send billions of dollars all over the world. I think it's like $100 billion in remittances. A small fee, you raise billions and you build the wall. I do think you need a wall. I'm a big supporter of it because it's a physical fact of life. Sometimes people will say who are more open borders, oh, censors and all this. You know, when you have an open borders president like Biden, you need to have that barrier. And I do think if Donald Trump had built it, Biden would not have been able to bring in 8 million people. But another thing I'm going to do that other presidents haven't been willing to do, we're going to treat the Mexican drug cartels like foreign terrorist organizations. They are coming into this country and they are poisoning tens of thousands of our fellow Americans every year. In Iowa, I've been all over Iowa. I've spoken to parents who have lost kids to fentanyl, and it's really fentanyl poisoning. And here's the thing that I think is so tragic about it. These are not drug addicts. These are somebody, maybe they're in college, they're stressed out, taking exams, and they think that a pill can help them, that they think it's something else, and that it ends up being laced with fentanyl. That one pill can be enough to poison them to death right on the spot. We actually had a situation in Florida where a family rented an Airbnb rental unit. They had an 18-month-old who was crawling on the carpet. And that carpet had fentanyl residue from whoever had rented it before. Just the contact with the residue killed an 18-month-old baby. And, you know, people in Washington, they just kind of shrug their shoulders. They don't care. They're not doing anything to stop this. Well, I care about this issue. I think a president not only has a right, I think you have a responsibility to fight back when people are coming in and killing your citizens. If you think about it, when al-Qaeda attacked us on 9/11, killing 3,000 people, there was never a doubt we were going to go in and hold them accountable. These drug cartels have killed way more in this country than any terrorist group, all the terrorist groups combined in the last 5 or 6 years. So we're going to treat them as such. We're going to be using the military to hold them accountable. And I guarantee you this, I'll be the president that finally solves this issue once and for all.
So just to be clear, so as president, you're going to order U.S. Special Operations Forces into Mexico to target and kill drug cartel members.
Amongst others, I mean, we have other assets. We're going to use all assets at our disposal. We will have some right on the border, of course, because I was at the border. Now, there's obviously wide open border, but there are places where there's physical barriers. So I was in place. There was like these big metal posts. And these guys are working at the base of the wall. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? They're like, we're repairing the hole. Because the drug cartels, they blow through a hole somehow, and then they scurry people in, a lot of times with drugs and other things. Biden has the Border Patrol in town processing illegal aliens, so he doesn't have people right on the border. My view would be very simple. If someone breaks into your home, you would have every right to use lethal force to protect your family. Yet somebody can cut a hole into a wall and break into our country, and we're just supposed to let that happen? Not on my watch. You're going to see major, major response.
So if you see a cartel member who is cutting, because I've seen this as well, shearing the wall down.
Rules of engagement, let her rip. That's absolutely appropriate to be able to do to defend your country.
Okay.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.